How's it going, boys and girls? My name is Michael S.K., and welcome back to Highway Blossoms. So, the last episode, our two girls here, our two main characters who are now in a relationship, have arrived here in good old Las Vegas to see the sights. I've never been to Las Vegas. I want to be in Las Vegas at some point in my life. I feel like I really need to. I don't really know why, but I really do feel like I need to. So I'm jealous of these fictional characters for being able to do all the traveling that they're doing. But yes, they are here in Las Vegas. I think it's one of their trips that they're doing. A little detour before they go to the concert. So, we have that to look forward to later on. As well as the growth with their romantic relationship. Outside, I take Marina's hand, but it feels limp inside my own. I let her lead the way down the street and towards the busiest part of the city. Sometimes stuff on the side catches her eye. Brightly colored sports cars that probably belong to millionaires pass us by pretty frequently. There are also people in bike-drawn carriages and double-decker tour buses. Besides the people, the buildings themselves all compete to stand out. Almost every storefront has something neon flashing to get you to look at it. Toy stores, restaurants, sex shops, and more all vie for real estate. Within a 2-block radius, you could probably buy anything you ever wanted. Maybe a half mile ahead of us, on the other side of the road, there are a few street vendors on the sidewalk. They have awnings set up to shade themselves and their merchandise, though it's too far away to see what they're selling. Marina spots them and points.
Ooh, let's go look!
But then her excitement vanishes.
If you want to.
Yeah, let's check it out.
With a hopeful smile, Marina starts to run. A red light at a crosswalk makes her stop, not too far ahead though. I catch up just in time for the light to change. Before she can dart away, I take Marina's hand. She doesn't object, but searches my face, so I smile, and she smiles back. I let her pull me to the vendor, who seems to be selling a little bit of everything. T-shirts cover most of a wire rack that serves as a wall. There are also bins of buttons, keychains, and other small trinkets. One bin is full of tiny soapstone animal carvings, and those are what Marina goes for. I ignore the vendor and his weaselly small talk, refusing to be conned into buying tons of junk. After a minute, Marina selects a little stone coyote. I pay $5 for it, practically robbery. We start down the road again with Marina inspecting her new treasure.
Why a coyote?
I thought she was the cutest. Look at the way the color changes here.
She holds the little trinket up to my nose. There's a spot where the color changes from brown to a milky white on one side of its face.
That is pretty.
Plus, wolves are pretty much my favorite animal, and coyotes are close enough.
Yeah? Have you ever seen a live wolf?
No, I wish. You?
At Yellowstone a couple years ago, yeah. I begged Gramps to take me.
As soon as I mention Gramps' name, I see Marina's eyes flit towards mine.
What else do they have there?
All kinds of stuff. Wolves, bears, buffalo, elk, deer. Pretty much any kind of forest animal.
And they just wander around, right?
Yeah. There are even places where you can feed some of them out of your car.
Yo, that's wild.
What about the meat eaters, like wolves and stuff?
There are spots where you can see them, but you can't feed them. They're still wild animals. It's not a zoo or anything.
I want to go there someday.
I'll take you to see them sometime. It's a cool place.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
I try to play it off like it's not a big deal to me, but talking about future plans, anything that would happen after the festival ignites that sense of uncertainty in my chest. The way her eyes light up when I promise to take her both soothes and agitates the feeling. No matter what, I'm happy that she's happy. I follow behind as she darts from stall to stall like a hummingbird. They all offer more of the same generic desert-themed trinkets or gaudy I Love Las Vegas merchandise. The sidewalks are full of these vendors who shout and try to get the attention of all the dozens of people who pass by. Marina's the only one who gets hooked in. But she doesn't ask for anything else. Maybe there just isn't enough wolf merchandise. Every time she dives in to examine someone's wares, I hang back with my hands in my pockets and watch. Once she's done, we hold hands again. That's a nice cycle. But all that changes once we reach the Strip itself with its eclectic architecture and eccentric population. I point out some of the more famous places like the Luxor, which is shaped like a pyramid, and Caesar's Palace, which looks like it was stolen from Rome. Marina oohs and ahs in all the right places, though to my surprise, she doesn't try to lead us to them. Instead, she seems dead set on taking us further and further down the row of sidewalk salesmen, like she's looking for something in particular. Not that I have any idea what that is. She leads the way, looking from side to side, but never seeming quite to find it. Until suddenly she freezes in place. A large wave of pedestrian traffic behind us crests and spills around like we're not even there. Marina points ahead at one of the street vendors a few blocks ahead.
Found one!
I'm yanked forward once again, being dragged by her newfound enthusiasm. Rather than a bunch of cheaply made goods, the merchant she's noticed has a bunch of colored drawings of cartoon characters, barely recognizable due to the exaggerated style. A sign beside them advertises custom commissions, $30 each. That's pretty cheap. I better be a good artist. I immediately understand what it is Marina wants.
No. No, no, no.
I try to drag my heels, but I'm tugged along by Marina. She's surprisingly strong when she wants to be.
Amber.
She says my name without even turning around.
This has been on my bucket list for years. It's happening.
Oh, Jesus.
What has? Getting ripped off by a street artist?
Having someone draw me.
My protests going ignored, I fall in step and accept my fate. The guy manning the booth looks like he's completely out of place. He's wearing a flashy Hawaiian shirt and a baseball cap. When he notices Marina and I approaching, he sits up from his slouching position and grins.
Hello, ladies.
Hi there. We were interested in having our portrait drawn.
We weren't. You were. But I don't protest. I've resigned myself to going along with whatever she wanted.
Perfect.
He frames us with his fingers like he's going to take a picture.
You girls stand right there and get comfy. I'll get ready.
Don't we have to pay first? He lurches off his wooden chair and grabs a sketch pad and a box of pencils.
We'll do you two in color. How's that sound?
Great.
I just grimace. I'm not fond of having my picture taken, and this isn't much better. I just never feel satisfied with how I look. That's why there aren't many pictures of Gramps and me. Just a couple. I'll deal with it, for Marina's sake. We stand under an awning, though its shade does little to help the heat. Marina shifts from foot to foot, while I just wait with my hands in my pockets. Every so often she turns to beam at me, though she doesn't say anything. Jeez, not sure why she's so hyped up, but it's cute. The guy finally gets his stuff ready, all set up on an easel. The piece of paper he's using is almost the size of my torso.
Go ahead and scrunch together now.
He makes a motion with his hands. Marina stands near me, and I wrap one arm around her.
Closer.
Our shoulders are touching.
Closer.
Now we're cheek to cheek.
Ah, perfect.
And he stares at us with a smile for just a second longer than is comfortable. It makes his expression seem more than a little sleazy. Before I can change my mind, he looks down at the paper and starts to draw. We stand there not talking or moving at all. Once, Marina starts to ask something, but he waves his hand without even looking up.
Quiet. If you move, you'll mess it all up.
so she shuts up. I can feel her jaw snap shut since it's smooshed against my own. 15 minutes pass, my mouth is starting to get sore. I didn't have any guesses as to how long this would take, but it's starting to get annoying. Even Marina seems to be having second thoughts. She wriggles, just barely, probably to fight the growing tension in her muscles. Not enough to ruin the drawing, though. From the corner of my eye, I notice a couple of the glances that we get. We probably don't look especially out of place, but more like hapless tourists who get conned into something. I guess we are, to an extent. I wouldn't mind, except that we look ridiculous being stuck together like nearly Siamese twins. Our artist draws with long, swift strokes. Sorry, I didn't mean anything out of that. It's just a mistake. Though I can't see what he's doing. He appears confident. Hopefully the result is worth the discomfort. It probably isn't, but it'll probably be funny. And the $30. I'm nearly at my breaking point when he finally leans back and sets his pencils aside.
Done.
Marina peels away from me instantly, leaving a damp spot of shared sweat on my face. I rub it as I follow her more slowly to see the results. As she cranes around the easel to look, I watch her expression go from excited to overjoyed. Her smile widens into a grin as she grasps the drawing in her hands.
Amber, look! It's us!
What the fuck? That's actually some pretty crazy draw. How did he get the background? There's no way he could have drawn a background. That must have been, like, prepared. Or this is all photoshopped. She flips it around so I can see. It's us. The first thing I notice is my boobs. They're a lot larger than in real life. Same with Marina's, kinda. Other than that, the drawing is cartoony. We're recognizable, but our features are exaggerated. Marina's eyes are almost comically huge. Or eyes, I should say. Well, there's only one open for both. In contrast, the buildings behind us in the drawing are sharply defined and realistic. Clutching the paper to her chest, Marina sighs a contented smile.
Thank you so much!
The artist wipes his sweaty palms on his shorts as he stands.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
And he looks at me expectantly. With a sigh, I pull out my wallet and pass him a pair of wrinkled bills. I pass it to him with a nod.
Y'all have a lovely day now.
With that, he slouches down again and pulls out a cheap-looking paperback novel. The drawing is still close to Marina's chest, like a priceless artifact. Every few seconds, she holds it away from her and grins as she looks at it. That makes it worth the cost. Finally, Marina rolls up the drawing like a scroll and tucks it under her arm for safekeeping. We stand in the shade of the awning while we look up and down the road.
We should split up for a little bit.
What?
I can't help but yelp. That was the last thing I was expecting.
Not for long. There's just something I want to do. And you can't be there.
Uh-oh.
Why not?
Shuffling in place, Marina looks away.
'Cause it's a surprise.
Mare, no. This isn't some small town. This is Las Vegas. What if you get lost? Or some creeper tries to mess with you?
It'll be fine, Amber. There's like 1 million people on this street.
Yeah, so? That doesn't mean anything.
I mean it. It'll be fine.
There's a fire in her voice that takes me by surprise. There's even a small spark in her eyes, like she's angry. My frown deepens.
But
Seriously, it's nothing bad, I promise. I just want to do something, but it's a surprise for you, so you can't be there.
Her face softens.
Please, it'll only be a couple hours.
Couple hours?
Marina, I don't know.
Of all the cities to split up in, this one is the worst. Not only do we not have a way to contact each other if needed, but the people aren't the sort you can trust. If I leave her on her own, there's a good chance I'd never see her again. But the way she stands there, hands on her hips, looking determined, makes me not want to argue. I sigh.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean it. Just give me like 3 hours.
Oh, wait a minute, that's a little bit more than a couple.
That's a long time.
You think? I tried to keep it short.
In 3 hours, she could be snatched into someone's car and well into Arizona, or California, or halfway to Reno. It's irresponsible of me to let her go, but I can tell by looking at her that I don't have a choice.
Okay, fine. But can you at least stay on the street? It's a straight shot back to the Rio where we're parked, and so it'd be harder to get lost.
Marina nods fast.
That's fine. I already saw where I need to go, but you're not allowed to watch, okay?
Yeah. I'll probably just go back to the car anyway.
Now she frowns.
Isn't there anything you want to see?
Not without you.
Aw, damn, dude.
Aw, Amber.
She kicks at the ground.
I guess we don't have to...
No, go on.
What?
Just be safe, okay? Don't do anything silly. I guess it'll be fine for a couple hours.
Nah, dude, 3. She takes the drawing in one hand and then hugs me tight. Then Marina leans up and kisses me on the lips. She pulls away before I can get into it.
Okay, I'll see you in a while then.
Right.
We stand there, neither of us moving. I sigh again and then trudge back down the road. I glance back every few steps, but she doesn't move. Instead, she watches me and waves. Probably making sure that I keep good on my promise not to follow her. As tempting as it gets, I'll let her go for now. 3 hours can't be that hard, right? Turns out I was wrong. 2 hours are agony. I wander from store to store, stepping in without actually caring what's for sale. The first is a vegan restaurant. I don't try any samples. Just next door is some fetish shop, with its windows covered. All the lights inside are colored, mostly red or sometimes violet. The girl behind the counter, pale-skinned and with artificially black hair, gives me a smile that I return. But I don't stick around. I don't even know what I'm doing. Going through the motions of being a tourist, I guess. Technically, I'm exploring Las Vegas. Tomorrow, I'm sure I won't be able to remember a single detail of these shops. Up ahead is yet another street vendor. His setup is nearly twice as long as most of the others, and includes large glass display cases. Looks like it must be a pain to transport. I wander over, pretending to be interested. The clerk, a Hispanic man with a short goatee, watches me but doesn't say anything, not even a greeting. It's all cell phones and phone accessories, chargers, cases, cords, and the like, nothing relevant to me. There's a special discount on prepaid phones and time cards right now, it seems. A half dozen identical posters plaster the wall of the longest case. I stare at one of the flyers, though I'm not actually reading it, just imagining if Marina and I had cell phones. It might help at times like these. Times when I'm being ridiculous and clingy and an idiot. Being able to reach her at any time would be nice, but would they get much use? And that's when I realize something, and I'm dumbfounded by a simple fact. What it is that it's been bothering me since we split up. This is the first time since meeting Marina that I've been on my own, that she isn't just a room away or within shouting distance. Even though it's only been a couple hours, I suddenly feel profoundly alone. It's pathetic, I know. I'll see her again in less than an hour now. But the anxiety of separation gets the better of me. It makes me sick as all the horrible scenarios rush into my head again. The ones where something bad is happening to her and she's not able to call for help. I look at the phones in the case. I've never had one, so I'm not very knowledgeable, but they look cheap and flimsy. I try to find a brand name, but it wouldn't mean much to me even if I could. The only names I'd be familiar with are those massive companies who make everything, not just phones. Samsung, I guess, is a really good example. Apple is, I guess, also there. The ones whose merchandise costs hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I think Marina had I don't know what the fuck that is. I've heard they're pretty good. Then again, I've also heard about shady stuff with them suddenly replacing all their production workers with robots. Gramps said this sort of thing would be part of the New World Order. Doesn't matter though. It's tempting, but there isn't much point. In just a week, less now even, Coachella will be over. Wait, is that where we're going? Oh shit, I completely forgot. Even if it was ever said, I would have forgotten. I've been recording this for months. And after that, well, the phone gives us a way to stay in touch. I spin around and walk away in a hurry, feeling suddenly sick again. I must have looked like a lunatic, coming up, standing still, and then freaking out and leaving. Maybe that's why the guy didn't say anything. I just look like another insane junkie. I picture some tweaker stepping out in an alley towards Marina, who of course wouldn't even notice, and I shove those thoughts out of my head. 1 hour. Just one more hour. Chill, I tell myself for the 1000th time. Across the street from the phone carts is a bright green sign for a candy store. One of those places that has floor-to-ceiling bins of gummies and that sell by the pound. I've been to one of those. I really have. On my 8th grade trip that I took by train with my class over to Sacramento. We went to Old Town. We just walked around exploring shit. And I remember going to a candy store that had 2 floors of just candy galore. A lot of taffy, I think it is, that's sold over there on the coast. Taffy. I remember taffy being a thing. And I also remember a place back at Pismo. If you guys are Californians like me, I remember Pismo had this one spot. Had a very, very big selection of sweets, I remember. And the floor was pebbled, I want to say. That's the best way I can think of it. If anyone knows about the store that I'm talking about, by all means, please hit me up. If I ever go there again, I would like to see that store. I half expect to see Marina in there herself. Getting her a surprise bag of sugar might be a good way to try to make up for being weird. Until the next time I act weird, that is. I cross the street as soon as there's a gap in the traffic, not bothering to go to a crosswalk. Oh shit, Sweet Tooth. The doors have an outline and handles that are the same lime green as the sign. When I step inside, I see that the walls are too. I'm reminded of the slime from those old shows I used to watch on TV that would be sprayed onto the audience or cast members. Good old Nickelodeon, yeehaw. Not the most appetizing impression. The selection is good though. Like I expected, there are more varieties of candy than I've seen in a single place, only pictures. There are several different types of plastic bag that you can fill, ranging from I'm on a diet to garbage bag sizes. I grab a medium-sized one. Then I realize that I don't know what to get for Marina. Definitely chocolates, but with or without nuts. I can't remember if I've ever heard an opinion. I try to recall what she's gotten at gas stations along our trip, but I never paid that much attention. Maybe I should go for a mixture of both. But then what if she's allergic to something? It probably wouldn't have ever come up, since we always eat out and order for ourselves. I don't want to give her a 3-pound sack of anaphylactic shock? I've never heard that word before. Gummies then. Those might be safer. There are more types of gummy candies than I ever thought existed. Different flavored rings, candies shaped like the fruits they taste like, and other things like chewy soda bottles. For just a moment, I wonder about which ones I should pick. Then I remember her saying she loves raspberry. Or was it strawberry? But I think she's gotten strawberry soda before. Not that that means anything. This is a gift, so I want it to be perfect, not a bag full of things she dislikes. Then I remember, Marina likes pretty much everything. Elated at the simplicity, I dump a small scoop of just about every sort of gummy that they sell. For good measure, I get a second smaller bag and fill it with some malted chocolate balls, caramel clusters, and plain old chocolate chunks. Safe options. I haul the 2 bags over to the counter. There's just one attendant, and she's currently ringing up a mom with her 2 sons. The kids dart around their mom's legs, rattling displays and knocking them off the shelf. No one makes them stop or fix their mess. One of the kids stares up at me and I frown at him deeply. He stops running and hides behind his mom's legs. Good. Hell yeah. She doesn't like children. I don't like children. I can connect with this main character. When they leave, the kid is still clinging to her like a bear cub. Oh shit, there's a sprite for the attendant. Or the... no, whatever. I set my bags up on the counter and kneel down to replace some of the spilled items. As I do that, the shopkeeper comes around front, nearly bumping into me.
Oh, you don't have to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I look up directly into her knees. I straighten up and we're suddenly way too close. Stumbling backwards, I grab the counter to support myself. She laughs, eyes crinkling. She's cute. Her tan skin is complemented by the bright red uniform she wears. A little name tag on the counter says that her name is Cassie.
You know, there's a special going on right now.
Oh yeah?
A stack of postcards sit by the credit card machine. She hands me one.
If you buy 10 more bags, you get one for free.
I try to imagine how much candy that would be. You'd need a wheelbarrow to haul it all out. Cassie laughs, probably at my expression.
Yeah, we haven't had many people spring for that one.
Wow, I really wonder why.
The person I'm buying this stuff for probably would, if she was here. This'll probably be gone by tonight.
I gesture at the bags, still sitting on the scale.
Oh, shopping for your sister, or?
Nah, my girlfriend.
I try out the word, seeing how it sounds in relation to Marina. As expected, it makes my heart skip a beat. During that beat, I feel like I see the shopkeeper's face fall, just for a second.
Yeah, lucky girl.
Thanks.
It's only in anime that everywhere you go, it's accepted. You know, just being with whoever you want. Because it's definitely not accepted in the world. It's kind of mean to say, kind of messed up to say. I should correct. But it is reality, unfortunately, that not everyone enjoys the whole same-sex relationships that are out there. But it is what it is. Like it or hate it, I guess. But it is exactly what it is. I don't know if she means because of the candy or because of me. After ringing up my bags, she dumps them into an even larger bag. That seems unnecessary, but I guess it makes them easier to carry. She passes me the candy as well as the receipt.
Have a good day. Try the peach rings. They're my favorite.
I will. Have a nice day too.
The girl waves as I leave the store. Outside, I check the receipt, since I wasn't really listening to the total. It looks like she didn't charge me for the smaller bag. I glance back inside, but she's disappeared into the back room. I guess that answers my earlier question. Flattered, I head back to the Rio where we're parked. It's not long until I'm supposed to meet Marina, and if I spend too long outside, her present will melt. It's a good point. Alright, we're going to end it on that note. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm back to recording these late at night for some goddamn reason. In the next episode, I guess we'll see what surprise Marina has in store for Amber. So, I guess tune in for that one. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a fat like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.